There was another story that you reported on Nintendo.
This is going to be kind of the other, I guess, the last big story of the night for the podcast.
Yeah.
There is a rumor, and I don't even want to call it a rumor. At this point, I call this a report. We have many big sites with professional contacts confirming this story. It was initially broken by VGC. Was that video game? Why can't I think of the name of it? Eurogamer was one, and Video Game Chronicle was the second. Both very reputable sites. Confirming through sources that we're going to see remakes or remasters of almost every Super Mario game that's ever been released. And
can I say that I don't believe it at all?
You don't believe it?
I don't believe it at all.
I'm going to give you my rationality to why I think it's real.
I don't even a little bit believe it. I don't even a little bit.
I'm going to give you my rationality to why I think it's real.
Okay.
Earlier tonight, you might have seen this, you might not have. Tracks from the upcoming Pokemon DLC leaked in their entirety online. And people were wondering, where did these come from? How did these get out there? It looks like one of Nintendo's servers were hacked.
Oh, I did just see that right before we logged on.
And this is relatively newish, but news of this hack has been circulating for the past day or two. Somebody on Twitter was pretty much saying, hey, expect these tracks to drop soon. But that being said, my guess is with the timing of this rumor, they probably pulled something from that leak or from that hack. The timing is just too perfect for that to happen. And the fact that we have multiple sources that are apparently trusted sources to both Eurogamer and VGC confirming it, I feel like this is going to happen at this point. But that's my rationality to why I think it's real. I think that Nintendo got hacked, which is terrible. And I think that assets from upcoming games, including apparently full music tracks from Pokemon, got leaked.
The reason why I'm skeptical is because it's too obvious. Like, Nintendo could make money hand over fist by re-releasing classic Mario titles on the Switch right now.
Yeah.
And by remastering games. And I'm not even sure, like, remastering is not a hard and fast term. It's kind of used relatively loosely, because sometimes it just means adapting something for a new console by modifying the aspect ratio, or
Sure.
by emulating it in a way that you can actually play it, is remastering.
Upscale, something like that.
And sometimes it means you're going in there and you're changing textures, or you're actually impacting the game mechanics in some way. So it can be quite extensive. So the difference between like a remaster and a remake and a reimagining is all somewhat subject to the interpretation of the developers and how they feel like they want to, I guess, brand it. But taking those Mario 64, which they have already remade once for the Game Boy Advance?
The DS.
3DS? DS, the DS.
DS.
And Mario Sunshine, which I don't think has ever even been referenced again by Nintendo since it originally came out on GameCube. And then the Galaxy set of games that came out for the Wii. And they did get Wii U ports, I believe.
Galaxy?
Yeah, I think I bought Super Mario Galaxy 2 for $10 for Wii U. Because I also bought Punch Out, and I think I bought some Samus game too. And
sure.
Because for some reason, the reason why it's sticking out is because I played Mario Galaxy and I loved it.
Yeah.
Mario Galaxy 2 came out at a time in my life where I just could not be thinking about games. So even though I wanted it, I skipped it. And then I had this chance to get it again, so I bought it.
Yeah. I mean, the Wii U was backwards compatible with the Wii anyway.
Yeah, I'm a little foggy on it, but I think it was.
I think I recall what you're saying.
And so, for them to take all of those and somehow put them all onto Switch, it does not seem like Nintendo's MO. Because what Nintendo would do is they would do what they did with Link's Awakening, where they would take the game and they would remake it, or like what they did with Let's Go, take the game, remake it, and then sell you it for $60, which could even be more than they originally cost in some cases. So for them to make all of them,
yeah,
and then drop them all at one time, they're cannibalizing their own sales. This to me seems like the kind of thing that Nintendo would do, because nobody's going to just be able to, I shouldn't say nobody, but there's going to be very few people out there who are just going to buy 10 Mario games, or even 3 Mario games, or even 4 Mario games.
Sure.
But if they space them out every 6 months, then they could support the Switch for the next 10 years based on just remaking Mario titles.
I think they're going to be as bare bones of a remaster as you can imagine. This is probably the easiest thing for Nintendo to do. And the latest leak, supposedly, that came out today was that Mario Sunshine, Mario 64, and Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 are going to be in one package like Mario All-Stars.
I just cannot believe they would ever do that. I find that so hard to believe. I would
they
love
could charge
it.
$60 for it, which I feel like would be an appropriate amount of money to charge for,
I
for
do
games
too.
that, even if they just emulated them to a certain degree. I think the only ones you're going to have like a tough time emulating would be Galaxy, because they had specific motion options
Yes.
with the Wiimote, but they'd have to translate that with the Joy-Con. But even if they did it like they just put the least amount of paint, like a tiny coat of paint on it, and pushed it out, I feel like that's a good price, $60.
That's a steal for those games. Absolutely.
I think
That's a
Nintendo
killer
is
price.
struggling with not having anything else this holiday season.
I think so,
I think
too.
Zelda's going to be pushed back to not pushed back, but coming out in 2021. We have no Metroid. We have no big games on the horizon besides Xenoblade. I mean, there's just not a lot coming.
I did really think up until very recently that Zelda was going to be the holiday title,
So
and
did
I do think that was Nintendo's plan. But now that we've gotten confirmations from Sakurai that this is affecting development internally, people are not able to work in the same way that they were before. I have to imagine that that's probably the same situation with just about all of their titles that are still in development, and that would include...
And maybe this is a Hail Mary. Like, maybe this is like, we need to sell Switches this holiday season. How do we do that? Let's prey on nostalgia, which has always worked for Nintendo.
Always worked, and it works on me. And if they release these, I mean, I'm not here naysaying. I will buy it. It just doesn't sound like the kind of thing Nintendo would do, and I would love to be wrong about this, because I'll be the first person to support them with my money.
It's kind of like the original Nintendo Switch leak that Eurogamer had, where they had pretty much the schematic of it, and everybody thought it was fake. Usually, if Eurogamer says we vetted this, I trust them. They have a decent track record with that. But I'm with you. I mean, we've been burned so many times.
We've been burned
with so many rumors. But that's not even the entire rumor. The other two pieces are Super Mario 3D World is getting ported over separately as a separate deluxe edition.
That's a no-brainer. I actually predicted that as one of their 2020 releases. I still think that's happening.
So they said it would be a separate release with new levels.
That sounds like a no-brainer. The Switch was built on the back of the Wii U. The best titles on the Switch, up until I would say like mid last year, are all Wii U ports.
Yeah.
Like the best title on the Switch is a Wii U port, a day one Wii U port. And so for them to take, in my opinion, the best 3D Mario game ever made and put it onto the Switch, no-brainer. Especially
Mario
since...
Odyssey's already on the Switch.
Good one, Jason. And I think that the way that I played Mario 3D World also impact my enjoyment of it. So for a multiplayer experience, I really don't think it can be beat, because it takes all of the fun of cooperative play and takes away some of the I want to kill everybody I'm playing with from the new Super Mario Brothers series, where you can't occupy the same space and you're on a 2D plane. Even though you can't occupy the same space, obviously, in a 3D world, you have a lot more real estate to run around. So playing that with family and friends is an unmatched experience. There's been no multiplayer Mario that I think is more fun than 3D World.
It is a blast, for sure.
I think that one needs to get on there.
Besides that, the last rumor was we're going to see a brand new Paper Mario this year. And supposedly this Paper Mario is going to be bringing the series back to its roots. So no more Sticker Star or Color Splash, like just good old-fashioned RPG Paper Mario.
I find that more believable.
I do too. Again, I think all of these are projects Nintendo has been working on, and I think a lot of it has to do with what's going on in the world. And I think you're completely right that development on many, many games and like movies and media in general are stalled, and Nintendo needs to do something. Nintendo had a very weak 2020 before this happened.
Yeah.
So that's it at this point. I mean, that's the rumor. It's reported by some big outlets. I guess it's a matter of time. If they are going to announce this, it would make the most sense for them to announce it I keep wanting to say E3 at whatever happens in June.
Sure.
So Nintendo's digital
we know that something's
June
coming up.
Direct. So.
Yeah.